प्रेसिडेंट श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी जी पूरा देश को माफी मांगना चाहिए।
And even as the Congress President Sonia Gandhi refuses to act against her sexist MP, BJP demands the Congress to sack Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. Good evening, welcome to Republic TV. Burning question. I'm Ridhimanan Bhardwaj. Viewers, our top focus is going to be on just one thing. The highest constitutional post in the country, the President of India, a misogynist, sexist comment from a Congress leader, and yet no action against him. While we're going to show you the happenings of the day, the big question today is going to be political ideologies aside. Is an insult to the highest constitutional post in the country correct? And is Sonia Gandhi going to sack the minister, the MP? Let's take a look at our top package that we're going to roll out.
The attack started right after she was announced as the NDA's presidential candidate.
But she represents a very evil philosophy of India.
हम लोगों को राष्ट्रपति भवन में कोई मूर्ति तो नहीं चाहिए। आप समझ रहे हैं? हम लोग राष्ट्रपति का चुनाव।
They want a puppet. They want a weak president.
So we should not mistake Draupadi. We should not make Draupadi Murmu ji as a symbol of Adivasi.
And now, when she holds the highest constitutional office in the Republic of India, President Draupadi Murmu has once again been insulted. When Congress MP Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary issued a sexist remark against President Murmu, calling her Rashtrapati ji, nahi, Rashtrapatni ji. The reaction to this insult was sharp. But the Congress MP Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary refused to apologize.
मैं अपने चूक हुई, गलती हुई, एक बार नहीं 100 बार इसको स्वीकारा है मैंने। राष्ट्रपत्नी निकाल चुके हैं मेरी जुबान से, गलती से, चूक हुई। इसका मतलब फांसी की तख्ते पे चढ़ जाऊं तो कहिए, सूली पे चढ़ जाऊं तो कहिए। अगर मेरे साथ कोई मेरे खिलाफ अगर किसी का कोई आरोप रहे तो मुझसे कहा करो। सदन के अंदर मेरे खिलाफ आरोप लगाया गया, मैंने स्पीकर साहब को खत लिख के जवाब देने के लिए समय मांगा, स्पीकर साहब ने जवाब देने के लिए।
Even Congress President Sonia Gandhi tried to ignore his sexist remark.
Ma'am, will you ask will you ask Adhir to apologize? Ma'am, will you ask Adhir to apologize?
He has already apologized.
And now, demand for his apology grows louder.
इस तरह का हल्का टिप्पणी करके राष्ट्रपति का गरिमा को जो उन्होंने चोट पहुंचाया है, उसके लिए सिर्फ अधीर रंजन चौधरी नहीं, पूरे कांग्रेस पार्टी, उनके प्रेसिडेंट श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी जी, पूरा देश को माफी मांगना चाहिए।
But can Congress brazen out the Rashtrapatni ji insult? Can a parliamentarian be allowed to insult the highest constitutional office? And can Sonia Gandhi afford not to act on sexist leader? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
As we welcome all the guests on the burning question, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing we really start off by asking is, can Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary really say it was a slip of tongue or a grammatical inflection when he called our president, our Indian president, Rashtrapatni ji? Can we just let it go, or do we really believe this is an overt act of insult? I welcome on our show today our guests who are joining us. We have Shehzad Poonawala, national spokesperson for the BJP, Ravi Sharma, advocate of the Supreme Court with us, Sujata Pandey, political analyst, also joining us on this panel. I welcome Dr. Sumansi Raman, political analyst, Nahid Lari Khan, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, and Tanvi Pruthi, political analst. I come first to ask whether this is an insult and to really understand what the post of the constitutional head of our country is, to Shehzad Poonawala along with Dr. Sumansi Raman. Shehzad, before I come to you, I do want to speak and remember what B.R. Ambedkar had said as what he envisaged the president will be. I paraphrase because he spoke about he, but we're also talking about she here, where he wrote, he or she is the head of the state, he represents the nation, he or she is the symbol of the nation. Shehzad, if this is so, can an insult that is so sexist, misogynistic be let off by just saying he has apologized?
You know, Rhythm, this is not a slip of tongue. It is actually a slip of character of the Congress party. And in fact, many people are saying, Samvidhan, Sena, Rashtrapati, Desh ka apman, this is Congress's true pehchan. And because this is a serial offenders Congress party, look at the serial offences they've done. They are the ones who called Army Chief Sadak Ka Gunda. Was that slip of tongue? They are the ones who abused the Prime Minister who comes from OBC Samaj as Neech, Gangu Teli, Bhasmasur, Gandhi Nali Ka Keeda. Is that slip of tongue? They have said about President Murmu before her election as president that she is a dummy. They have also said that she is evil. They have said that she is a rubber stamp. They have said she is a murti. And then now, after she has become the president, and the president of India is the first citizen, but they are also the reflection of the command of the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces. They are the reflection of 130 crore Indians. And therefore, when you say something about the president, you are actually saying it about the constitution, about our Loktantra, and also about our entire 130 crore Indians. And therefore, those who believe in Parivar Tantra time and again have been attacking Loktantra and Loktantra's institutions. So therefore, this is a calculated attack because they hate one person, because they hate one party. They will not even stop at attacking institutions of our Loktantra, and they've done it time and again. You would remember how they've attacked EC, they've attacked Supreme Court. Now see, some people in this panel, Rhythm, will come out and say, but so-and-so said this thing to that woman, so-and-so said this thing to that woman. But today we have to make a distinction. There is a serial offences that are being committed against constitutional position holders, and particularly one like Draupadi Murmu. What is Draupadi Murmu's story? She has risen from the grassroots right up to the post of the presidency on sheer hard work, performance, and the fact that she represents the first woman from the tribal community. This has to be borne in mind, that somebody from that Samaj has risen to the top, has ascended to the highest post of the constitution. Today, just because you are afraid or you are scared or you are perturbed about the investigation by the ED against your parivar, you start abusing the constitutional post holders, and that to the president. And this shows the mindset of the Congress, the Adivasi Virodhi mindset, the Dalit Virodhi mindset, and the Mahila Virodhi mindset. You would remember that it was the same Congress party who defeated Ambedkar ji twice. This is the same Congress party that has ensured that Ambedkar ji did not get Bharat Ratna for 40 years. This is the same Congress party that did not celebrate Bhagwan Birsa Munda's legacy for decades. This is the Adivasi Dalit Virodhi Mansikta of the Congress that has once again come to the fore merely because they hate one party or one person who is governing right now.
Okay, massive points made right at the start of the debate on the burning question by Shehzad. I also want to go across to Dr. Raman. Dr. Raman, we heard 2 points that he made. Is it not true that not only the president, but even like he said, the Supreme Court, any order, any judgment is now being very critically questioned for no rhyme or reason? Is it not true today that Sonia Gandhi lost her cool, our sources tell us, when she was having that conversation and she wagged her finger? Is it not true that when someone tried to ask her, has Adhir apologized, she was annoyed, she was angry, and she said in a very curt voice, he has apologized. There is still no apology, there is still no sacking of Adhir.
Why should, look, Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary should not have said what he said. There is no doubt about it. But I really am amazed that Shehzad can sit here and pontificate. I don't know, someone called Mrs. Sonia Gandhi a Jersey cow and Rahul Gandhi a hybrid calf. Perhaps Mr. Shehzad Poonawalla can throw light on who that person was and what action was taken against the person. Someone also made a comment about Congress ka Vidwa. Now, I think that, coming from a party that is known for insulting, throwing pretty below the belt insults on multiple occasions, I think it is a bit thick for Shehzad to sit and pontificate on behalf of this party. Should Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary apologize? Absolutely, he should apologize. But I think that the BJP today obviously it's a diversionary tactic. For instance, Smriti Irani, the way she went, without obviously answering any of the questions which the Congress had raised about her in the last few days, and the Goa issue. So I think that this was a very convenient opportunity for the for people like Smriti Irani to sort of go overboard in sort of trying to claim a huge insult and so on. But anyway, I'm not surprised. Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary made a mistake. He should not have said it. He should apologize. The matter should end there. And I'm amazed that the spokesperson of the BJP is casting. I mean, those who live in glass houses should not be throwing stones.
Point you are trying to
should
make,
not.
but I also want to get in an advocate from the Supreme Court, Ravi Sharma, into the debate, because Ravi, when we're speaking about Draupadi Murmu, we saw the kind of opposition our president faced, and I lay a lot of emphasis today, viewers, on our Indian president. This is not about the political ideology or about a spat between leaders, Congress leaders, BJP leaders, but our Indian president. She's risen. Her story makes all Indians proud. This is the story of a woman from one of the most backward areas in Odisha. No one in her village even had primary education as a girl. She was the first woman to get education as a college, at the college-bearing level. And she spoke on her maiden speech about the dreams that are there for all Indians. When we're talking about our president, and Ravi, you would know it more, they enjoy immense powers. How, as an advocate, are you looking at this insult of India's highest constitutional post?
I don't see president, and I don't think there can be a suit for defamation filed on behalf of the president. She obviously can, but I don't think that the president will get to that level, or anyone should. But we should not forget that Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, he suffers from a foot in the mouth disorder. He has made such statements. If you see the track record over the last 5 years, he has repeatedly made such statements. He called Nirbala Sitharaman. He once said Kashmir is not the internal issue of India. And now he says something very derogatory about our president, like you emphasized on the word "our." It's not a Congress versus BJP issue. And if you have seen the video of Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, where he used the word Rashtrapatni, we all realize, it was very intentional act. It was said Rashtrapati, and then he made a point to mock the president by referring her as Rashtrapatni. So someone like Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, who has a track record of committing such derogatory and sexist remark. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, I was going through his Wikipedia page, is the father of a daughter. You call Finance Minister Nirbala Sitharaman as you refer to her as Nirbala Sitharaman. You refer to the president as Rashtrapatni. What standards are you setting in?
Yes.
For your own daughter? These are things that has to be gone into. And let me point out this. Uman Sitharaman said that he should apologize and the matter should end there. First, this man is so adamant, and this shows.
Yes.
This gives a glimpse into his mindset. He is yet not ready to apologize. He has not apologized, and he is yet not ready to apologize. That's one.
And he's not even being told to apologize for the sexist comments, Ravi, on our president. Tanvi Pruthi, I also want to come to you. Did Rahul Gandhi also not expose a similar misogynistic attitude when he tried lambasting the Prime Minister by saying the watchman with a 56-inch chest ran away and told a woman, Sitharamanji, to defend him? Similarly, we've seen the Speaker Ramesh Kumar, Congress leader at that time in Karnataka, make unscattered remarks in 2019. I don't even want to read out what they were. How is it that this Congress party, which interestingly today, viewers, has not even had any press conference to either defend Adhir or even support Sonia, how is this Congress party today saying that we have not insulted the president and Adhir has apologized? Tanvi.
It is nobody's case that what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary said must be condemned in a single note. Every time a woman breaks glass ceiling in this country, it is a very sad state of affairs that people across political lines, no matter who is in power, they make sexist remarks against such women. I mean, I recall the time when our ex-president of India, Pratibha Patil ji, they called her cook or terms used against her. Or look at Mayawati ji. Her journey is so inspiring, just like Draupadi Murmu ji. And the term used by Daya Shankar ji, who is a minister right now in the BJP government, I can't even take that, call that term on national television. It was such a hideous term to use. And today that person is a minister. So yes, I condemn all sexist remarks in a single note. But let us not just leave it to selective outrage. Just because today...
Do you condemn the remark that Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary made today?
Yes,
We're coming to today. Do you condemn this, Tanvi? Do you condemn the remark? Yes.
I started with that, ma'am. I started with that. I am against all sexist remarks made by all political persons. They must be condemned in a single note. That's what I'm saying. But why the selective outrage? I mean, do you say that Prime Minister Modi should apologize to Sonia Gandhi?
The collective outrage came, but I want to ask you one question, and I also want to get in our other panelists on the debate. But the one question that I also want to ask here, viewers, the moment these comments were made, BJP leaders Nirmala Sitharaman, Smriti Irani spoke for our woman president, our first tribal woman president, but we didn't see that kind of uproar from the Congress leaders. Everyone and several people have been saying that Sonia Gandhi herself is a woman, but did she really think it was not necessary to speak up against the sexist comments that were made by her leader in Lok Sabha? And I want to ask this to Nahid Lari Khan, who was raising her hand. Nahid, go ahead.
Can I answer?
No, Rhythm, can I come in?
Hello? Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so points that Shehzad made. Yeah. So I think point it was well articulated that Congress has a long and exhaustive history of insulting constitution and institutions of India. So I will not go there. Even Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is a repeat offender. I will even not go there because I have no hopes on Congress. The country doesn't have a hope on Congress. That is shown by the declining vote share of the Congress. That having said, I was laughing at the excuse made by the Congress spokesperson on every channel today that Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is not very well versed with English and Hindi. Okay, for a moment, I'll give him a benefit of doubt. But I think he comes from West Bengal, a culture which respects and which teaches his children to respect women at a very early age. So either he doesn't know the culture of Bengal or he's plainly lying. That's number one. Secondly, why Congress, Rhythm? Why not other party leaders? Where are the women? Where is Supriya Sule? Where is Priyanka Chaturvedi? Where is Mamta Banerjee, who bears the flag of feminism? Where is Mahua Mohitra? Where are the others? Why are they not standing for a president? President is not from BJP. President is for the country, and the country's president has been insulted. And by the way, the panelist here was doing what about a classic case of ye isne usko kaha, to usne usko kyun kaha, isne kisko kaha. Let's have some shame. Let's stand up. Let's stand up for the woman president who inspires for every aspect of her life.
Of this country, ma'am.
So don't do water party. That was bad. This is bad too. So don't say selective outrage. It was outraged by everybody then. It is outraged by everybody today. And today coming on the channel, you just can't come on here. So don't have a hopeless version of this feminism, which represents everything that is wrong with feminism in India. They said this, so I said this.
Tanvi, I'll just come to you in a moment. Sujata Pandey's just made her point. I want to make this point also. Yes, I'm giving everyone a chance. Nahid, I also want to come to you. Nahid Lari Khan, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Even in the past, we've seen leaders of SP also make certain sexist comments. But this time around, Nahid, this is not about SP. This is not about a political ideology. Yes, so that also important because Priyanka Gandhi has not spoken out at all today. Nahid, how are you going to justify these comments and the fact that the Congress is not even going forward to reprimand Adhir Chaudhary?
Rhythm, I was patiently listening to all the panelists and I expect the same courtesy from others. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me, Rhythm?
Please, we can. Please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, Nahid, I can.
Yeah, thank you. I was saying that
we can.
I was patiently listening to all the panelists and I expect they extend the same courtesy when I speak. See, what I want to say is that be it Prime Minister, be it President, be it Speaker, be it judges, these posts are all common genders. There's nothing to do about men and women. And if you talk about India, India is a diversified country. You know, it's a beautiful bouquet of various languages, various culture, various food, various clothing. So there's so much of diversity in India. And, you know, not the entire country is Hindi speaking. There are states like Tamil Nadu, Bengal, Meghalaya, Mizoram, they all don't speak in Hindi. They have their own languages. Now, Adhir Ranjan ji is a Bengali. So I believe when he comes to Hindi speaking belt, he tries his level best to speak in Hindi. See, I didn't interrupt anybody. I'll keep quiet. No, I'll keep quiet like this. I didn't interrupt anybody. Kindly maintain some decorum of the debate. I didn't interrupt. So I believe he must have committed this mistake because of his, Bengali language. Anyhow, see one thing I would like to say that BJP has continuously been saying about honourable. No, let me complete. Let me complete, Rhythm. You gave enough time to everybody. See, now BJP is continuously talking about Honorable Draupadi Murmu ji as Adivasi. Now, continuously calling Honorable Draupadi Murmu ji Adivasi, BJP is humiliating and insulting the entire Adivasi Samaj and also, outraging the modesty of, outraging the dignity of President's post. Now BJP is continuously saying हमने बना दिया आदिवासी समाज की राष्ट्रपति, हमने बना दिया आदिवासी समाज की राष्ट्रपति. What do they mean by हमने बनाया? अरे 72% of population is of OBC, SC, ST. It is their right. It is their right to be in all the posts starting from top to bottom. What do they mean हमने बना दिया? What do they mean by this? And if you talk about Samajwadi Party is continuously fighting since ages, since many years we've been fighting for OBC, SC, ST. And we will make sure, we will die also for them, but we will make sure that this class stands on all the posts starting from top to bottom. And BJP with which mouth are they talking about OBC, SC, ST? Are the very foundation of BJP was laid on 6th April 1980 in Kotla Maidan, Delhi on the basis of against that OBC, a Prime Minister cannot be made from OBC or Dalit Samaj. इनकी तो पूरी बुनियादी ओबीसी एससी एसटी के अगेंस्ट में बनी. आई थिंक शहजाद पूनावाला doesn't know because prior to this he was from some other party, so he must not be knowing.
Okay, Nahid, several points made. I've taken into consideration, given you a point to speak. I want Shehzad to respond because one minute. Let me also come in because I also have our executive editor here who's going to be speaking to us. But let me also get in Shehzad.
Just a second more.
Look, first of all, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has not apologized. In fact, can we speak one at a time? Rhythm, please, because there'll be other people also who want to speak. So let's not interrupt each other. First of all, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has not apologized. He has come out and said, why are you making a Rai ka pahad? Why are you trying to sensationalize? Ye to masala mil gaya aapko. This is what he said in his apology. And Renuka Chaudhary and Udit Raj have come out and said there's nothing to apologize. So in fact, the Congress party feels so entitled, and this entitlement mindset, because of which they have insulted the highest position holder of Loktantra, because they believe only in Parivar Tantra. They have not apologized, first of all. Secondly, let me inform Samajwadi Party spokesperson that please tell me when is the first time or any time you will make any person from the scheduled caste Samaj the president of your party. And by the way, OBC Prime Minister for the longest time and the first time who completed his tenure has been given by the BJP, who is Shri Narendra Modi. But you also called Prime Minister Narendra Modi as Gujarat ka Ghada. This is what Akhilesh Yadav has said to the first OBC Prime Minister who completed his tenure. So please, you should be the last person advising us or talking to us about how much respect you have done for SC, ST, OBC Samaj. But that's not the point today. Today, look, Rhythm, in the political heat of things, A may say something to B, B may say something to C, we may fight against each other, but we never abuse our parents. Whenever we abuse our parents, that is something that is unacceptable in the family also. Similarly, the President of India, the Chief Justice of India, the Chief of the Armed Forces, these are all positions that we revere with a certain amount of extra reverence. And these positions have been continuously abused by the Congress party and their leaders, and action has not been taken against any of these serial offenders.
Yes.
And therefore, I'm saying today Tanvi can come and say, "Arey, isne ye bola." I can tell her Sanjay Nirupam ne ye bola. I can say that Mulayam Singh Yadav said boys will be boys. I can say that the Karnataka Congress MLA said this about women. I can say Rajasthan Chief Minister has said that rape cases by SC women are all fake. I should not get into this political tutu meme of who said what, but the first citizen of this country and the first president from the Adivasi Samaj, and we are not dividing anybody into Adivasi, non-Adivasi. In fact, it is Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, in his apology he has come and said, "Arey, the president can be a Brahmin, the president can be a Dalit." That means after insulting the president, after insulting women, after insulting the Adivasi Samaj, he is coming out and dividing the position of the presidency also into all this. Please tell me one thing, that does our Congress party apologize?
Yes.
If they apologize, what action will they take on Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary,
Okay,
on
I
Udit Raj
also-
and on Renuka Chaudhary? This is the debate tonight.
Absolutely.
Rhythm, kindly let me
Shehzad, to
kindly
put
let
this
me
into
respond to
perspective,
him.
I'm also
I'll just
joined
take
by my
1 minute.
colleague Nahid. I'm going to come to you after Abhishek. I'm going to give you all the time to make your point. But before that, I also want to go across to my colleague, Senior Executive Editor Abhishek Kapoor, who's been reporting on the story since morning. Abhishek, first thing I want to ask you, what is the real politics behind this? We've seen several of our panelists talk about it. There was a row, but also give us a blow-by-blow account of what happened, which was not caught on camera when Sonia Gandhi spoke to Smriti Irani.
Well, Rhythm, so obviously we understand the controversy began with Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary making that comment sometime yesterday. The BJP obviously was quick to pick on it. And remember, Smriti Irani was on her feet. In fact, the first reaction from her came as early as around 7:30 a.m. in the morning. Then, of course, that combative speech that she made in the parliament, and then the confrontation that she had with Sonia Gandhi, the interim Congress president, where Sonia Gandhi said that, "Please don't wag fingers at me." Smriti Irani said, "Why not? You are shielding Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary," and that's how the entire verbal altercation went in. But I think what is important is Sonia Gandhi also said, "Don't talk to me like this," and Smriti said, "I would, because it's a matter of insult of the highest constitutional office of the country." But Rhythm, you know, two quick points on what this really means for the Congress party of all. You know, a BJP obviously would want to make political capital out of it. But remember, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is a repeat offender. He makes these controversial comments, gauffs. He has said that what is internal about Kashmir, it has been with the United Nations since 1948. He tweeted Rajiv Gandhi's most controversial comment, when a big tree falls, earth is bound to shake, on his death anniversary this year itself. And also, Rhythm, the panelist before Shehzad was saying that how come BJP is taking ownership of the tribal issue? You know, remember, between 2014 and 2019, BJP increased its seats, and of the increase between 2014 and 19, half the seats were from reserved constituencies of SC/ST. In fact, out of 131 Lok Sabha seats which are reserved for the two communities, SCs and STs, a majority of 77 is with the BJP. So obviously, BJP has a sway over the tribal vote, and that is getting reflected in the fact that even within the opposition ranks, MPs and MLAs broke through their ideological chains and really cross-voted as many as 17 MPs and 126 MLAs. So I think it is for the Congress party to think, Rhythm, whether it is gaining anything by shielding, protecting and continuing with Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, who is prone to these kind of gauffs. If they could be called that, BJP obviously would want to believe that these are motivated insinuations, but these don't help the Congress party at all.
Yes, absolutely, Abhishek. That's explained rather eloquently. Thank you for that. I also want to ask Ravi, and I want to bring him in here because Ravi, you also spoke about how Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has been a repeated offender. I want to ask you, this patriarchal, this misogynistic attitude that has been expressed by the Congress party, where we are seeing no one really coming forward, rebuking, reprimanding him. How is this to be looked at? Because keep in mind that, like we mentioned, Rahul Gandhi earlier has done the same thing. We've also seen today Priyanka Gandhi doesn't come forward and say a single word. How are we supposed to look at this now?
So, you know what? Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, what he portrays, what he manifests is the ugly side of Congress. Congress claims to have, a women president. Congress claims, as Priyanka Gandhi during UP election says, "Beti hu lad sakti." But here is a man who has a tendency, and it's not the first time that he has made such sexist remark. Earlier, like I told you, he had made some. He has made similar remarks against Nirmala Sitharaman. Now he's targeting the president. I am telling you, Rhythm, apology will not be sufficient in cases like this. When a person over a period of time manifests such tendency, he is, he renders himself unfit to continue as a member of parliament. Someone should examine whether this Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, can he be expelled on the ground that he has made such a sexist remark over a period of time. And I'll tell you this, it's not that I'm what has a precedence in UK House of Commons, where a member of parliament was expelled for its conduct outside parliament.
No, I mean, while we are outraging,
and I would rather take that question.
The comment of Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary and how he should not have said it, which I think everybody agrees. I don't know. I mean, was there a debate on the Smriti Irani silly souls story which the Congress highlighted? Is that not important to ask a sitting union minister the hard questions? We are taken up by her emotional response in Parliament. We play those clips endlessly, but somehow nobody seems to want to ask that question. I mean, these are simple questions. It's all about asking people, and these charges have been laid out in the public
Rhythm, are you
domain.
accepting this?
Nobody seems to want to ask her anything. Instead, we want to take Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary's
precedent in this language, everyone is emotional. Why is Smriti Irani's outburst being casted as emotional because she's a woman?
The opposition and not questioning the government.
Rhythm, this is unacceptable.
What is unacceptable?
Rhythm,
Go ahead, Shahzad,
my
yes.
outburst is also emotional. Every Indian's outburst is emotional. Yet Smriti Irani has been singled out by this man who won't utter a word about the selling souls of Congress party, who sold entire country and sold property of National Herald for their gains. And he is now casting Smriti Irani's response as emotional because she's a woman. What kind of sexist, patriarchal, misogynistic mindset is there on this panel?
All right.
They are defending this statement.
As I see viewers that on the burning question, tempers are flaring high. The only place that we need to take this collectively, and I just say this once, is to ensure the respect of the office of India's president. The highest constitutional body remains. And that is one note I believe all of us across any party lines need to be united. I thank you all for joining us on the burning question. See you later.
Where the software engineer meets the gifted content writer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University.
Amity University has India's largest scholarship program, from which over 25,000 brilliant students have already benefited. Students with over 95% in Class 12 boards get 100% scholarship, and students with over 90% get 50% scholarship. Join brilliant, like-minded students who want to be successful. Apply at amity.edu/scholarships.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Livestream with you everywhere. Republic Livestream, India's #1 streaming news.
Me and my VJ are together. Absolute pandemonium, chaos. In fact, massive security thrown around. Big push diplomatic visit, which is going to be, of course, capped by the Quad leaders meets. Uddhav surrounded himself with unelectable coterie. You expect these people to dictate terms to a grassroots strong leader like Eknath Shinde?
After Union Minister Smriti Irani demanded an apology from the Congress on the sexist remark, the Congress continued to justify sexism in the most shameful way. The Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary said that he will not apologize to the BJP and further said, "What if I said it?"
Srimati Sonia Gandhi should come before the nation and apologize to the Rashtrapatni and also to the entire country for the insult that her own leader.
उसमें आग लगी हुई है और आंदोलनकारी इस तरीके से
और कश्मीरी
Michelle, first visuals on your scene. Christian, would you give facts to India? Mr. Bhandari, just one question, sir.
Mr. Malia, why are the questions bothering you when I'm not getting a single answer?
Wherever you are, whenever you want. Republic live stream with you everywhere. Republic live stream, India's #1 streaming news.
He heard the question this time very clearly. No answers from him. Our keys continue to be with his men. We faced intimidation here. We've been trying to get in touch with you and ask you several questions on the land deals that you had along with Priyanka Vadra and Robert Vadra. Why are you trying to avoid the camera? Once again trying to get in a word with Mr. Vijay Mallya. Persistently been asking you only one question. Mallya, why did you escape in 2015?
Wherever you are, whenever you want. Republic live stream with you everywhere. Republic live stream, India's #1 streaming news.
Union Minister Smriti Irani leads the chorus, hits out at Sonia Gandhi's Congress for insulting India's highest office. Further, the BJP party is demanding an apology for the remarks made against President Draupadi Murmu.
तो नेता सदन अधीर जी ने द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी को राष्ट्र की पत्नी के रूप में संबोधित किया.
And here's a look at some news in brief. Soon after, a ruckus was witnessed in the Rajya Sabha as proceedings started. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharam tore into the Congress party over Congress's sexist remark on President Draupadi Murmu. The Finance Minister came down heavily on the Congress's remark on the President, calling her Rashtrapatni. This comes after the Congress party refused to apologize over their remark.
पहले कहा राष्ट्रपति, उसके साथ साथ निकल चुका राष्ट्रपति. पिछले माफी मांगने की सवाल ही नहीं. माफी किसकी? चूक हो गए.
Wherever you are, whenever you want. Republic live stream with you everywhere. Republic live stream, India's
And viewers, before I go across to my colleagues for the debate, I do want to say we thank our viewers with folded hands for the kind of support we've got. For the first week, unprecedented ratings coming in Indian television, which show that Republic Media Network has been #1 in Bangla, Hindi and English across all religions and demographies and languages. As we thank you for your support, this is something we continue looking on for being with us in this journey. And we'll also tell you, coming up after a short break, my colleagues Abhishek and Aishwarya are going to debate and understand, shouldn't the Congress be apologizing for Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary's comments today? Patriarchal, sexist, misogynistic, these comments were an insult on our president. Back after a short break. Stay on with us.
Amity University has India's largest scholarship program, from which over 25,000 brilliant students have already benefited. Students with over 95% in Class 12 boards get 100% scholarship, and students with over 90% get 50% scholarship. Join brilliant, like-minded students who want to be successful. Apply at amity.edu/scholarships.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है,
पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
Where the software engineer meets the smart market analyst to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University.
Citing inflation concerns, the US Federal Reserve hiked interest rates by 75 basis points. The US Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell made it clear that the US is not in recession.
I do not think the US is currently in a recession. And the reason is there are just too many areas of the economy that are performing, too well. And of course, I would point to the labor market in particular. As I mentioned, it's true that growth is slowing, and for reasons that we understand. Really, the growth was extraordinarily high last year, 5.5%. We would have expected growth to slow. There's also more slowing going on now.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Livestream with you everywhere. Republic Livestream, India's #1 streaming news.
Me and my VJ are together. Absolute pandemonium, chaos. In fact, massive security thrown around. Big push diplomatic visit, which is going to be, of course, capped by the Quad leaders meets. Uddhav surrounded himself with unelectable coterie. You expect these people to dictate terms to a grassroots strong leader like Eknath Shinde?
After Union Minister Smriti Irani demanded an apology from the Congress on the sexist remark, the Congress continued to justify sexism in the most shameful way. The Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary said that he will not apologize to the BJP and further said, "What if I said it?"
Srimati Sonia Gandhi should come before the nation and apologize to the Rashtrapatni and also to the entire country for the insult that her own leader.
उसमें आग लगी हुई है और आंदोलनकारी इस तरीके से
और कश्मीरी
That is Christian Michelle. First visuals on your scene. Christian, would you give facts to India? Mr. Bhandari, just one question, sir.
Mr. Malia, why are the questions bothering you when I'm not getting a single answer?
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Livestream with you everywhere. Republic Livestream, India's #1 streaming news.
He heard the question this time very clearly. No answers from him. Our keys continue to be with his men. We faced intimidation here. We've been trying to get in touch with you and ask you several questions on the land deals that you had along with Priyanka Vadra and Robert Vadra. Why are you trying to avoid the camera? Once again trying to get in a word with Mr. Vijay Mallya. Persistently been asking you only one question. Mallya, why did you escape in 2015? Constitutional Office of India calls the President Draupadi Murmu Rashtrapati ji nahi, Rashtrapatni ji. Will Sonia sack leader of opposition in Lok Sabha Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary over his sexist remarks on President Murmu?
Amity University has India's largest scholarship program, from which over 25,000 brilliant students have already benefited. Students with over 95% in Class 12 boards get 100% scholarship, and students with over 90% get 50% scholarship. Join brilliant, like-minded students who want to be successful. Apply at amity.edu/scholarships.
Now, after ruckus in both houses of Parliament seeking an apology from the Congress over the sexist remarks, Sonia Gandhi claimed that the Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary had already apologized.
corruption. माफी मांगो इस देश से, माफी मांगो सोनिया गांधी आदिवासियों से, माफी मांगो औरतों से, माफी मांगो गरीब से, माफी मांगो.
Now, in fact, as the Lok Sabha proceedings began, the Union Minister Smriti Irani came down heavily on the Congress for insulting President Rashtrapatni Murmu. Smriti Irani categorically stated that the Congress has sanctioned the humiliation of the President of the country and should apologise to tribals. Soon after, amid the ruckus in the Lok Sabha, the House was adjourned till about 2 p.m.
Citing inflation concerns, the US Federal Reserve hiked interest rates by 75 basis points. The US Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell made it clear that the US is not in recession.
I do not think the U.S. is currently in a recession. And the reason is there are just too many areas of the economy that are performing, too well. And of course, I would point to the labor market in particular. As I mentioned, it's true that growth is slowing, and for reasons that we understand, really the growth was extraordinarily high last year, 5.5%. We would have expected growth to slow. There's also more slowing going on now.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Livestream with you everywhere. Republic Livestream, India's #1 streaming news.
Me and my VJ are together. Absolute pandemonium, chaos. In fact, massive security thrown around. Big push diplomatic visit, which is going to be, of course, capped by the Quad leaders meets. Uddhav surrounded himself with unelectable coterie. You expect these people to dictate terms to a
From the Delhi studios of Republic TV, it's time for the debate.
The Debate at 9, presented by Amity University, powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, Century Ply and JK Tires.
Good evening and welcome, friends. It's Thursday evening, just a couple of days to go before Arnab Goswami is back. Till then, Aishwarya and me fill in.
Well, absolutely, back with a bang. But let's begin. A shockingly sexist comment directed at the President of India by a Congress MP, and yet the party is brazening it out. Tonight at 9, the demand is simple. Sonia, sack sexists. It's a mega Republic impact. TMC finally sacks Partha Chatterjee. But who were the mountains and the mountains of cash for? That's the debate at 10.
And finally, the allegations are piling up. Why does not the government act on PFI? That's at 10:30 p.m. But let's begin in with the headlines first. Leaders of opposition in Lok Sabha makes a sexist remark, sparks massive outrage. Viewers, will Sonia sack sexist now? Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary makes sexist remarks against President Murmu, then makes a failed attempt to justify. An heated exchange of words between Smriti Irani and Sonia Gandhi over Adhir Ranjan's sexist remarks.